Well, hey everybody, my name is Chris and I want to talk to you about prayer, and I want to address a question that we've all had at one time or another. And it's this: why does prayer feel so complicated? On the outside, it seems like it should be, simple enough. We're just talking to God, we're just having a conversation with heaven. But internally, there are days when you go like, where did the words go? I don't even know where to start. It feels like I'm stuck in this maze. I mean, maybe yesterday it felt like it was working, like maybe there was a bit of a flow, but not today. It's like somebody shut down the prayer lane for repairs overnight. Well, I want to bring your attention to something you're already aware of, but maybe you've never related it to prayer. Have you ever noticed that when authenticity breaks down a relationship, it gets complicated? Maybe you've experienced this in a friendship that you have, or maybe you've experienced it in marriage, that everything seems to be going fine, but then somebody steps into pretense and everything gets complicated. Everything slows down. Conversation becomes a bit halted. Well, what is pretense? Pretense is pretending. Pretense is that place where we stop saying exactly what we think, exactly how we feel. We stop articulating what we really want. And in prayer, this looks like the place where we start saying what we think God wants to hear. Or we start listening to the words coming out of our mouth as if prayer had to sound a certain way. Well, at that point, we're kind of managing a formality. We're putting up a storefront. We're not really being honest and authentic and engaging in prayer. It's a huge problem. And Jesus actually addressed it when he was here. He pointed to the religious leaders of his day and he said, "You see how they pray? Don't do it like that." He said they pray these long, memorized prayers. They do it out in the open so people can see them, and their motives all jacked up. He said they think they're going to be heard for all their words. Jesus wasn't impressed. But then there was this other day that there were these little kids. They were trying to get to Jesus. The disciples were actually holding the kids back. "You kids get out of here." But Jesus saw what they were doing. He said, "Don't do that. Let the little children come to me. Don't you realize that the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as those? And in fact, when you come to God, you should come like a little child." Well, in truth, don't children know how to be honest and authentic? It just comes natural then. They know how to tell you exactly what they think, exactly how they feel, and they can definitely tell you exactly what they want. And so as it turns out, this is how heaven is inviting us to come to God. You know, we need to realize that God already knows what we're not telling him. We're not in prayer, we're not informing him. We need to say it more than he needs to hear it. You know, we're not telling him something he doesn't know. We're actually just finding the humility to tell him what's true and to ask for his help. And as it turns out, when we do that, magic happens. We have a sense of someone there. It's not complicated anymore. It feels more simple, and the presence of God, the power of God to help us and assist us, not just with this day, but maybe even to get us out of the season we feel maybe stuck in and to get us into another and better season. And so here it is. It turns out that prayer, like all good relationships, can't bear up under pretending. We have to stop pretending. We have to say exactly what we think. We have to learn how to say what we feel, process how we feel, and we need to articulate or say to God exactly what we want. Because as it turns out, God likes authenticity. Well, who doesn't? So I hope that helps, and I hope today you'll engage in your own prayer movement deeper